Okay, so this is a sort of video of actual amateur sort of hobbyist artists, sketchbook tour. Feel free to skip forward and just skip through this video if you just want to see the art. But please, I really encourage, if you're watching this and you find something that you're engaged with, feel free to leave a comment, or something you don't like. I mean, you can leave a horrible comment if you want. I don't really mind if you like or subscribe, that doesn't really matter to me, but if you leave a comment, that would really benefit me. Motivation wise, just keeps me going, seeing people like want to comment on your work, whether it's just improvements or things that you really like or dislike, or things that I could improve. It doesn't really matter too much. I just really appreciate that. And as a heads up, this is recorded on my phone, and then I am doing a voiceover in OBS as a video. The reason I made this video was just because I'm halfway through my sketchbook. I started the start of it really not a long time ago, but majority of it was done over the last year. I'm very inconsistent in my art as it is, so I've been a lot more proactive in my art lately, and I thought I'd make a video just going through my halfway sketchbook. It will serve as a motivation to me to continue drawing and finish the sketchbook if I have a video up, I think. And I just want to sort of give an insight to other artists out there that might be beginners or newbies or hobbyist artists, or but not professional artists. This is, if a professional artist sees this video and they have something to say, that'd be great. But I think a lot of new artists are really put off by creating a sketchbook or just drawing. A lot of digital artists don't have sketchbooks, I found, that are new, and they go straight into digital art. And for me, that's fine, but then nothing beats the feeling of drawing on pen and paper. I have a digital art pad, I have an iPad, but I bought one and I'd use it for a while, but I found myself coming back to pen and paper. It just feels better. I feel myself improving quicker with this, and it's more therapeutic for me as someone that does this in my free time. So yeah, I'm a software developer by trade, but as a sort of hobby, I find art very fascinating. And yeah, this is just a heads up for people that are new to sort of take the plunge, just get a sketchbook, draw in it. A lot of people see a lot of professional artists' sketchbook and really put off by the fact that they have every single page feels like a finished art piece that could put up in the Louvre. This is not the case for me, at least. A lot of my pieces are horrible, are terrible, especially near the start, which is a good thing. Recently I found a lot more of my pieces. Ones I actually want to show people because I'm happy with the progress and I'm really excited about how they came out. And that's a big step for confidence as well, because at the start some of these sketches I knew were just bad. I knew what was wrong, I knew what was bad, but I didn't know how to improve with other than just practice, and that's exactly what I did. So I hope you like this. I'm just going to dive straight in. I don't want to waste too much time. I know people's attention spans are small. So yeah, I'm going to pause the video at certain points as well, just to commentate over some of these pieces that I might have particular feelings towards. This is the first one. This was done more than a year ago, maybe nearing 2. It was just outside of my window without doxing myself. I didn't like that one. The perspective was all wrong. Similar hair, the fence was wrong, but you can tell it's a house, so I guess there's that. This one I'm going to pause on actually. Wow, I actually really like this one even now, even though it's been a long time and I could tell just how bad it is in certain places. The perspective's all wrong. You can see on the right hand side of the building, that isn't really how it should be. The right hand side should be more narrow. You shouldn't be able to see as much as you do. I like the truck, I like the piece, and something I did is, if you can see on the bottom right, you can see the address. And one thing I really did when I was out of art inspiration was to look up places on GeoGuessr and sort of record art from where I was. So yeah, there's that. These ones are just tearaway and I hated these. Horrible piece. This one I liked. This one was sort of a place in Africa or Asia, I don't remember. I think I show. I like the etching I do. Something I still do today, not very well. Something that I've improved upon, I think. But you can see, yeah, springs in Gauteng. I'm not sure where that was, but one thing I used for inspiration was when I had art block. Well, I didn't know what to draw. I just went on a website called geoguessr.com. I'm not sure if any of you are familiar with it, but it's a website for, you know, it's a sort of video game where they place you anywhere in the world on Google Maps, and you have to guess where you are. And what I would do is I would be placed somewhere in the world, and I would just draw wherever I am. And that was really fun. It helped me with motivation and inspiration on actually getting stuff done, because I had no choice in what I needed to draw. I just saw something and I drew it. And it helped me for a while. But eventually I started discovering the joys of Pinterest and just how good that could be. So yeah, that's another thing. Also, apologies for my voice. I'm kind of sick at the moment, but I just want to get this video out there, so I'm not waiting until I'm better. This one is a character called Shiryu from an anime or manga called One Piece. He's one of my favorite characters for no particular reason. I just think he looks awesome. Kind of reminds me of M. Bison from Street Fighter. Yeah, I'm big into anime, and I really like how I did the etching in this one. This was horrible as well. The perspective, the anatomy, not the anatomy, but the form is all wrong. But you can sort of understand that it's like a more... but I kind of like it even now, even though it's very simple and everything's incorrect. It does the job. This again was on GeoGuess, so this was building. This was over. This is the woes of over detail, I think, where everything just looks murky and just bad. You can kind of tell it's a house and the type of house it would be, some sort of a suburb in America, but I keep saying anatomy, but the form and the perspective is all wrong. And this, this is where we sort of venture into recent times. So I started these. This is when I started in started like drawing a lot more again, and this started in June 2023. I've had breaks in between. I've still been inconsistent, but compared to, you know, doing one piece of art every 6 months, this was far more frequent and consistent. And these are just some sort of studies I did of dung beetles and beetles in general. I really like these. I used the biro for these. I love the etching I did with these. You can really tell what they are immediately. You could tell the shadows and lighting for these. So yeah, that's something I'm very proud of. And even to this day, a year ago, I think this rivals some of the stuff I've done today. So very happy with these. A lot more realistic and detailed than what I would normally do. But again, yeah, I was happy with these. Yeah. Again, went in with the biro. This one kind of falls flat again. You can tell that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, sort of drawing as like a road. But there's too much detail. I'm trying to fill in everything rather than leave areas blank and white to give the person's eye the chance to understand where we are. This one was pencil. Again, GeoGuessr, drew a house. You can see with this one already, just by doing like 4 pieces, the perspective is a lot more realistic, even though there's some things that are off. Very happy with these. You know, the buildings are a bit slanted in places where they shouldn't be, but far more realistic and accurate. The tree is a bit off. Doesn't really look like a tree, but yeah, I like that one. Again, sorry to make you tilt your head, but this is like a shopping mall that I drew at the entrance to a shopping mall. Again, this form is completely wrong. Don't worry, I think I change it back now. There we go. This is like a church, I think. I like this. The perspective is wrong again. Those light poles, those sort of lamps, I guess they're called. Oh, lamps, they are, that's what they're called. Are kind of wrong. They shouldn't be like that. They should be more slanted upwards. I like this one a bit more. A long, narrow road that goes down. When I did this, I really hated it for some reason. I just thought it looked awful. But now looking back, the simplicity of it actually works. Yeah. This was done in pencil. This is sort of a biblical drawing of David and Goliath, I believe. I just liked it. I'm sorry if the lighting is bad. I recorded this video late at night with my flash, not flash, but sort of lamp on. It kind of muffles some of the details of this piece, which is a shame, but yeah, I like this one. Even though, you know, there's certain features that just don't make sense, you know, anatomically, and there you go. I think I turned my lamp off now. So yeah, it's a good one. I like this one, even if it's not fully correct. You know, his ears are missing, which you can't unsee now. These are me starting to use a book to learn some ideas about perspective and form. If I remember the book name, I'll let you know in the comments, but it was quite advanced. But I really like this, just the idea of drawing sort of thumbnail drawings and pieces of like landscapes just to give me an idea. Here I did the Loomis method. You can't kind of tell because of the drawings on the back half were done with ink, so it's kind of bleeding through. But yeah, I did like a lot of faces in Loomis method. As you can see, the different sort of sides of a face kind of worked. First try ever, it's kind of ass. These I am actually really proud of. The bottom left one particularly, I love the dynamic pose of it. You can see the swinging rotation of the arms and the muscles in his back as if he's mid-motion. The other ones are a bit less fluid if it focuses, but they still give the perspective of dynamic pieces. The arms obviously a bit short, but I like that one. Here are some more. I really love this page. Actually, I'm going to pause right here. You know, the skater guy, the top right, even the bottom left, I really love these. I love this, the dynamic pose. She looks like she's jumping, she looks like she's running, he looks like he's on his skateboard. And a little drawing on the bottom right, just from Pinterest. A lot of what I've drawn, if not all, is from Pinterest. So none of these are original. I ignore the eyes on her, she look horrible. The top right one is a pure disappointment. Her foot shouldn't be arched like that at all. But yeah. I like the bottom left, if that counts. And here we are with one of my favorite drawings ever, full stop, of all time, and that's the top right sort of one. I think I zoom in here, you'll be able to see it. I love how dynamic this pose is. You know, he's a netball player or volleyball player. He's mid jump, he's about to hit the ball, and you can see the fluidity of the body. I think the pencil etchings really add to the dynamic pose itself. These are horrible. I hate these. I just blacked out the faces because they were just a mess. I like the top left one, to be honest. The top right one's kind of bad, and the bottom one, I don't know what it is. I was just trying out color pencils. And here we are. You can see the 7th of the 3rd. So that was March, I believe. So 3 months ago. Yeah, these are some Pinterest references. I love how I did the dirt effect on this character's like helmet. I think I'll zoom in here and you'll see it. I sort of had like an ink smudge, and I love how it adds to the fluidity of the movement of him driving. But again, there's so much that needs to be improved with the perspective and the sort of anatomy of a character. I'm really bad at drawing vehicles. These are all Pinterest references. I like how all these colors came out. These were just an excuse for me to use markers, I guess. Sort of knockoff markers. Actually, no, these are the nice ones. These are from Winsor and Newton. I had some Hoo-Hoo markers that have dried out since, but these are from Winsor and Newton. These are really juicy and great brush markers. Another hand smack. This was just circles. I was just trying to draw circles as part of the exercise in the book I was reading. These are more exercises, 1-point perspective, sort of dynamic grids, curves. Yeah, again, more 1-point perspective, 2-point perspective now, you can see. But this is what a sketchbook's for, you know? Not every page needs to be a piece that I actually care about or try and put effort into. Even though I put effort into these, it's not the same kind of effort. This is more about not caring about what comes out as long as I've got something down. So I was just trying to draw circles with a line through them, which is, again... So this is perspective terminology. This is all wrong, I hated it at the time, but looking back it looks pretty good. Again, more... ignore the little spot on my hand. I got bitten by something and then it sort of scabbed over. Yeah, more boxes. Just drawing boxes. I got ink all over my fingers from refilling my fountain pen. This is me trying to learn, just testing some ink out with my fountain pen. I have a Lamy Safari that I use and another one that I just bought recently. It's a Fude nib I've got, but this one is not the Fude nib, this was just the Safari. This was me trying out some inks. Stuck page, I don't know why that page sticks. This was awful, by the way. This is me trying to lay down some ink and then draw over it and trying to get the It's just the art technique where you lay down the main block of color and then draw in the details after. And it's not a bad art technique at all. It's just I'm very bad at it and I've never done it before. And I just try to draw it straight with ink rather than pencil. You can see this top one is absolutely horrendous. This middle one's a lot better, but again, the engines are wrong. But I like the form and perspective actually here. The bottom one, all wrong again, but I guess it kind of looks like a dolphin. These are me trying out red ink. I got these diamine colors that I bought recently. This one's diamine oxblood, and I just got some Pinterest references and tried to draw them. Again, as you can see, the top one I really like, even though the form's a bit off and the wheels. You can see the red seeping through the tree of the sakura tree. The bottom one, the car is off entirely, absolutely horrible. But I like it. This was a funny piece. Her face, she has a funny little nose and lips that don't match, and her eyes are too high. And yeah, I don't know what I was doing here. I drew a hand that was meant to be part of her, but then I realized it's not gonna work because her face is too small. Oh, this is one of my favorite ones. So what I did was I drew with the diamine oxblood sort of fountain pen. I drew something off Pinterest reference, and then I tried to wash it with not wash it, but I do a wash of red. So what I did was I filled in a I don't know what they're called. They're like these sort of paintbrushes that have a water thing, like they're like brush pens with like a water spout at the end, where you can fill up and use a sort of like waterless, you don't need water, but like a paintbrush. And I filled that up with ink as well, so I did a wash over my fountain pen drawing, and that led to this smudged effect that typically you don't want, but I really liked it here. Add to the painterly effect, and people ask me if this was watercolor. It's not, it's actually just a fountain pen wash in ink mixed with water and really diluted down. But I love this one. Went over again with ink. This one less so. It makes it look like he has a butt chin, or like he's some emperor. It's meant to be like a zip, like a long zip, or like a, I don't know, but it's still cool. Zone, that's my Instagram handle. These are some of the houses I did, inspired by this Japanese thread I saw on Twitter of sort of fruit-themed homes. There's an apple house, an orange house in the middle, and then the melon home at the bottom. And I used the red ink again, the diamine oxblood. And then I sort of got a new fountain pen, a fude nib. And I drew a knight. And as you can see, I left some comments here. You can see the chest is caved in, is too small. And I need to rotate the body a bit more, but I love this pen. The fude nib is great. This was me just experimenting with colored markers. I'm not particularly enjoying, like I don't really enjoy this one. I think I kind of washed it out. I applied way too much ink, like 15 layers of just ink, just to get it to finally something I like. This is Yotsuba. It's a character from a manga called Yotsuba, based after the main character. Really cute, really wholesome. I really recommend it. Just some Pinterest references. I like the way, I really don't like the top one. That was meant to be like a little village. Awful. I really like the hand and arm, and the dynamic posing of the fingers. The head and the other side of his body could do somewhere, but you know. This is one of my favorite pages ever, especially that bottom panel with the black in the etching. All of my friends also said the same. But yeah, I really like this one. And yeah, I really like that. Probably the top left one is the weakest one, and in the middle, but I like the top right and the bottom. These are all just sort of landscape pieces and that sort of stuff. But yeah, I love the way I did the etching with the pyro, and that one was the only one without ink, coincidentally. This is another Japanese sort of environment. This has a lot of work to be done. I sort of just did this as quickly as possible, just to get something done every day. That stop sign could do with a lot of work, but I love the fude nib. It gets really thick lines, and that's useful for really quick drawings. You can get it as thin as you want. And this one I did recently. This is all in June, by the way. The last 10 pieces, I'd say, are in June. I'm going to pause right here. This is like a cowboy showdown scene that I saw on in Pinterest, and I thought I'd give it an orange background. I really like that. And I was going to go over it with like ink, fountain pen ink, whether it's waterproof or not, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to go over it again. But I thought I kind of like the way it looks with pencil. So, YOLO, I'll keep it like this. don't know why I keep saying YOLO, by the way. Very 2013 of me. This one I did yesterday. Yeah, not the biggest fan of it. I think the colors kind of ruin it, but I tried to get like a nighttime scene and to reflect in the work and sort of a sunsetting scene where you can see the shadows more warm. Even the cold side of it being blue is to reflect the shadows of the darker, the lighter side, which is kind of opposite of how you'd normally do it. You'd probably have the warmer side in the sun. This one I did yesterday as well. Today's the 24th, so I did this on the 23rd. Both those pieces, so I did this piece and the one before it yesterday. This one I tried to do as quickly as possible, and lo and behold, I really like it. You know, the form's off. You know, the things that are wrong with it, you know, it's slanted, you know, one side bigger than the other, but the tree doesn't really look like a tree, but I love this. I love that I went with the yellow background and the blue color. This fountain pen color, by the way, is called Aurora Borealis, and I absolutely love it. It's beautiful. Prior to this, I was using the Oxblood. This color is gorgeous. It's like a greeny blue. But yeah, I really like this one. And I think that is the last one up until now. And I'll be doing more. So this is midway through my sketchbook, as you can see. I've got about 6 months of the year left. So my goal for myself and not for anyone else is to finish the sketchbook, and maybe I'll give an update maybe in December, or if I get it done sooner than that, I'll give an update then. This will probably go by quicker because I'm not drawing on both sides of a page because of the inks I'm using. They kind of bleed through in the fountain pens. So it might be done in a few months. It might be done in 2 months. It might be done in 6 months. It might be not done ever, and I never make another follow-up, and you're stuck with just this one video, which is maybe why I need some inspiration, so leave a comment. But yeah, that is the end of my sketchbook. I got this sketchbook cheap somewhere, I think just my local art store. The pages are okay, it's nothing great, it's a bit thin. It has a little ribbon that's good for art. I think it's not designed to be an art book, but you know, I use it as such. It's just a plain notebook. Yeah, this is covered in horrid whiteout. That kind of crumbled off and made a mess all over my room, so I'm never going to make that mistake again. Some stickers are okay. But yeah, I hope you like that. If there's anything that you feel like I missed, or anything you'd like to comment on, I really encourage you to do so. I really appreciate it. I love encouragement, I love feedback, I love anything, whether it's positive, negative, or just general sort of comments. They mean a lot, and I appreciate them a lot. So I hope you like that sort of sketchbook. This is more of a realistic guide into what you might find if you're new to art, or if you've been in art for a while and you're too intimidated to show people your work. I've just shown you my work, and it's nothing special by any means. A mistake in every single page, many mistakes, but more importantly, I'm having fun, and even more importantly than that is I'm learning. Well, actually, more importantly, I'm learning, and more importantly than that is I'm having fun. I think that's where the priorities lay. I'm having fun, and I'm going to do a follow-up video of sort of how I've become obsessed with art. I've done so many pieces over the last 3 months, it's kind of unhealthy, to a point where I spend probably more time drawing now than some of my other hobbies. If I've got a crime documentary playing, I'll just listen to it while I'm drawing. I'm looking at a reference on Pinterest. I have sort of 2 monitors that I use, and I spend a lot more drawing time. Yeah, I've spent a lot more time just drawing in my day. So yeah, I hope you sort of like that. Feel free to leave a comment again, and I'll see you next time.